I think it's shameful. If I may finish just answering.
Well, let me
this is really important.
I'm gonna go ahead and interrupt you here because
I know the establishment doesn't approve of this message. I know
that there were federal
we should be able to talk about this.
You're saying that.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. We're going to watch another masterful takedown of the mainstream liberal media by none other than Vivek Ramaswamy. In my opinion, I absolutely think he is the smartest candidate that is out right now. Even smarter than Donald Trump, in my opinion. But hey, you know, some of you guys might bash me for it. But hey, it is what it is, right? We're not going to always agree on everything. But hey, was Trump a great president? Of course, that's undeniable as well. But Vivek is absolutely genius. I think his communication skills are absolutely masterful. I mean, he's a guy that actually needs to be studied. You know, the way he gives speeches, the way he responds, the way he frames his points, and also, you know, attacks right back at the mainstream narrative is absolutely impressive in my opinion. So we're going to watch a clip from the town hall that he had with CNN with Abby, where he's going to set her straight on some facts. But you're going to also notice that even when he is spewing out facts, that CNN or Abby just can't help herself but try to correct him on the facts. You're going to see what I mean at the end of the clip. Let's get right into it. But before we do, guys, make sure you hit the like button down below. Greatly helps the channel out. I can't be doing this without your support. So before the video plays, hit the like button down below. Let's get it.
Side job to describe what happened on January 6th. The next day, Capitol rioter Alan Hostetter highlighted your comments at his sentencing. He is going to prison for 11 years. Hostetter threatened members of Congress. He brought a hatchet, knives, pepper spray, stun batons, tactical gear to the U.S. Capitol. Are you concerned that a convicted felon like that is now promoting your comments in court?
So here's my concern, Abby, and I want to tell you guys where I'm at. If you had told me, it's close to 3 years ago that January 6, 2021 happened. If you had told me 3 years ago, back when I was a biotech CEO, not steeped in this world, I was just consuming passive media, but was focused on my world of developing medicines. If you had told me that January 6th was in any way an inside job, the subject of government entrapment, I would have told you that was crazy talk. Fringe conspiracy theory nonsense. I can tell you now, having gone somewhat deep in this, it's not. I mean, the reality is this. We do have a government, first of all, we have to acknowledge, that has lied to us systematically over the last several years about the origin of COVID-19. About the Hunter Biden laptop that we were told was false by 51 CIA experts and otherwise before we now know that it was true. You can go straight down the list, the Trump-Russia disinformation collusion hoax, all of it. Now we come to January 6th. The reality is we know that there were federal law enforcement agents in that field. We don't know how many. I think it's shameful. If I may finish just answering,
well, let me
this is really important.
I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you here because
I know the establishment doesn't approve of this message. I know
there were federal
we should be able to talk about this.
You're saying that there were federal agents.
This is important to talk about.
You are saying there were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
Yep.
There is no evidence that there were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
So why, before Congress, when pressed on what the number was, they didn't say there were none? They just couldn't say how many there were.
So you're saying that that you have not seen any evidence that there were.
We've seen multiple informants suggesting that there were. We know people were FBI informants who were asked to
Is there any evidence?
May I just finish this and you can come back and question?
In my opinion, the only evidence that I need at this point is the fact that the director of the FBI, whenever he went to go speak in front of Congress and he was getting questioned about January 6th, and they directly asked him, they said, hey, how many FBI agents, how many undercover FBI agents were in that crowd? And he would not say zero. He wouldn't answer. He would not. It's simple. If you know that you didn't send any agents, if you know that there is no agents, the answer should be there were none. There were none. We didn't authorize any to be there. If there were any, they were there all on their own accord. But the FBI did not have anything to do with any of our agents that currently work with us being there during the riots. How hard was that? How hard was that? But when you're guilty, you're going to try to do all types of political jargon to try to confuse people and deflect from actually answering the question. But let's keep going.
Well, let me clarify.
I know this is very uncomfortable for you.
I'm going to clarify my question.
I know this is an uncomfortable issue for many people, but we have to do the truth here.
I'm going to clarify my question because I want to make sure that you understand what I'm asking.
I understand this deeply. And I told you, I was with you 3 years ago. I'm not there now.
Where is the evidence?
Yes.
Where is the evidence that the government had a plot,
let's do this.
an inside job,
But no, I'm going to tell you what an inside job is, because I'm not
violence
due respect.
on January 6th.
I'm not going to let you put words in my mouth. I'm going to put my words in my mouth. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that.
Where is the evidence that the government was involved in planning or executing January 6th?
So I'm going to give you hard facts. And if I may, Abby, I know this is going to be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to go through this, and you can push back on it after that. And you can push back on that. And let's do this fairly. Why did they suppress footage of now what's been released, 200 hours of footage of shooting rubber bullets into that crowd?
Facts.
Shooting tear gas into that crowd. You didn't see that before. You
Facts.
saw what the response was to that. Now you see footage coming out of actually rolling out the red carpet for Capitol Police allowing people in.
Again,
right through the front door.
The vast majority of
that
the footage
video evidence should have been released before, Abby.
Mr. Ramaswamy, the vast majority of the
before.
footage shows
and my deeper
police
question
officers
is this.
being overrun
and I want to talk about one more
by
case.
violent
this is really important.
rioters. That's
I'm
what
going
the
to give you some hard facts.
Of it shows.
So here's what entrapment is.
Cherry pick.
I'm not cherry picking. If I may finish, Abby. If I may finish, Abby. I'm not cherry picking.
Example.
She said you can't cherry pick. These people are crazy, man. The gaslighting is insane. While the January 6th Commission cherry picked surveillance footage to present as evidence. And she's talking about Vivek is cherry picking to frame a narrative when that's all the mainstream liberal media, the Democrats, the rhinos, people like Liz Cheney, the whole January 6th Commission. That's all they did was cherry pick surveillance footage up until Mike Johnson just released all of it. And when I seen it for myself, I was in freaking shock because we didn't see any of the antagonization that was going on from the Capitol Police. Them actually throwing tear gas when there was nobody rioting. They were shooting rubber bullets. They did not show us any of that footage up until recently. So who is cherry picking? What are you talking about? These people are so disingenuous.
To the contrary. To the contrary. You know who cherry picked? You know who cherry picked? The government did.
The
government cherry picked 12 hours of footage when there was 200 hours of footage. So cherry picking was the government, not me. Release the whole thing. And let me just finish one thing too, because this is super important as a topic.
So
I think this is a civil libertarian issue of our time. Gretchen Whitmer's kidnapping. I want to be really clear on this, because it's the same issue in the same FBI, same even part of the FBI. 3 people who were in an alleged plot to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer were acquitted at the end of trial because it was entrapment. That is, government agents put them up to do something they otherwise wouldn't have done. They gave them credit cards with spending limits of up to $5,000, encouraged them to buy munitions, plan something they weren't otherwise willing to plan. So much so, and I want people at home to know this, especially CNN viewers to know this, is that one of the jurors went to those defendants and apologized afterwards, gave him a hug, apologized, seeing what the government had put a poor guy up to who had to go to some Mexican restaurant across the street to get hot water. These people were exploited with credit cards up to $5,000, FBI agents putting them up to a kidnapping plot that we were told was true but was entrapment. Same thing with the Capitol Police, people letting them in freely. Many of those people then being charged.
Look,
the government cannot put you up to do something and then charge you for it. That's wrong.
I don't want to have
to. Wrong to the left, or the right, I don't want to have to interrupt you. I really don't. But I don't want you to mislead the audience here or at home. I think they've been misled by the mainstream media.
14 people,
the mainstream media has misled them.
14 people were charged in that plot. A majority of them were convicted.
I said 3 of them were acquitted on grounds of entrapment. That's a fact. Dispute me. Was I wrong about that?
What folks need to understand.
Was I wrong about what I said?
What
I was
folks
not.
need to understand
3 people were acquitted on grounds of entrapment.
9 were convicted.
A juror apologized.
9 were convicted.
Yeah, but the 3 who were put up should have never got to that stage of a trial.
But the January 6th
That's unacceptable in the United States.
Look, I just want people to understand. 3 people were acquitted. 9 people were convicted in that plot.
Yeah, so, I mean, there you have it. There you have it. Abby couldn't even help herself. She couldn't even help herself at the end. Even when he was saying exactly what she was saying, she couldn't help herself to fact check him. There was nothing to fact check. You just repeated the same thing that he said. But the thing was, that wasn't the truth that CNN wants their viewers to know. That's not what they want them to understand. She's like, well, what we want people to understand is that, 9 of them were actually convicted. Well, that's not what he was saying, Abby. He's talking about the 3 that were acquitted and on the basis of government entrapment. But you denied that fact. You don't even want your viewers to know that fact. You left that fact out on purpose. Well, we don't want you to misinform our viewers. What? Those viewers that were sitting there should absolutely be offended. CNN just told you to your face that you don't know how to think for yourself. We have to give you what to think and how to interpret what the situation is. We want you to view it how we want you to view it, not how you're going to understand it after critically thinking for yourself and after reviewing all the information that you want to review or that is available to review, right? These people always deflect, always deflect. They never, ever, you can watch this happen multiple times with multiple CNN anchors where they would never actually debate the subject at hand. They would never debate what the, Vivek or Ron or Trump or whoever, they will never actually debate what they're saying. They will only want to spew out a narrative on how CNN wants their viewers to interpret what they're saying. They will never actually combat with evidence, irrefutable evidence, and tell you, hey, this is the reasons that what you're saying is wrong, right? She couldn't even help herself, like you saw at the end there. Whenever he mentioned a fact, she felt like she still had to fact check him. That's how you know they're in her ear. They're always telling her to cut him off. Hey, don't let him say that. Oh, step him out there. Hey, say these pointers. Hey, make sure to go back on your note card and make sure that you're saying this. Oh my God, these people are absolutely hilarious. And those CNN viewers should absolutely be offended, especially when she said, oh no, we don't want you misleading our viewers, man. We don't want you telling the truth. Don't tell them the truth. We want them to believe what we want them to believe, what the leftists, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the rhinos, the establishment, the elites, that's who we work for. That's the truth that we want people to believe, not actual facts. Vivek, you're talking too much right now, is what Abby's thinking in the back of her head, right? And whenever he would bring up a point, she had no rebuttal for it whatsoever, except to spin a CNN talking point, a leftist narrative, a Democrat agenda. So anyway, I thought this was absolutely brilliant of Vivek on how he keeps handling these mainstream liberal media propagandists. And I enjoy watching it every single time. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. I don't want this video to be longer than it is. Let's talk about this video in the comment section. Hit the like button down below. And of course, if this is your first time on the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button with the notification bell. See you guys on the next one. Peace.